Hi guys, Ellie Duzette here. I am here at my parents' house visiting while we're on vacation, and this is called their forest room, and it has, I don't know, 270-degree views of the forest here, which is so fun. But today is the new moon, and so I wanted to let you know about it. So let's go ahead and pull up the chart. Okay, so the new moon is when the sun and the moon occupy the same kind of slice of the zodiac. Okay, so this is the sun right here in our chart at 7 degrees of Cancer, and this is the moon at 4 degrees of Cancer right this minute. Okay, so very shortly the sun and the moon will align. Okay, and that is actually how we get eclipses. This is how you would get a solar eclipse if that was going to be the case today, which it's not. Because of orbits and things like that. But even though it's not an eclipse, it is a new moon, and that is important. And there's some interesting stuff going on with this new moon. So I want to talk about all of that. So first off, what you need to know about all new moons is that it is traditionally a time for planting. This is a time to plant seeds. Historically, people would plant, like farmers would go out and plant their seeds in the evening of a new moon. And there's, I don't know, anecdotal evidence to why that is smart, but on a symbolic level, this is definitely a time to look at your life, identify what you want changed, and then make a little list of what you want to do new in the next month, in the next 28 days until the next new moon. Okay, you can call those intentions. That's where you intend, you write down what you intend to change. And what I love about my own new moon practice with this, I don't put any pressure on it at all, and I urge you to do the same. I literally just look at my life and I'm like, okay, some things have to change. What's got to change? And then I'll write like, I intend to, eat healthier for the next 30 days, or I intend to exercise every day for 20 minutes. And I'm not making a commitment. I haven't promised anything, I'm just saying I intend that. Like I would really like to, I'm kind of choosing it, but I haven't fully committed. And once I've made my list, I aim for 10. I fold it up, stick it somewhere, never worry about it again. That's how you do it. You just set your mind to thinking about this stuff and allow your brain to handle it for you. And you will be astonished at how your brain actually does handle it for you. It is very surprising, but it can actually happen. Oh, and I have my baby here, and I have this tiny pirate ship in this. This is the kids' playroom, and she just figured out how to climb up. So we're gonna see if she's a little, I call her Death Wish Duzette when she does this. Hi, baby. Here, take a look. Hi. You gonna go down a slide? You don't even know how. Yeah. So anyway, okay, parenting. So what I want you to do is make that list of 10 things that you wish you were doing differently and just write them down. I intend X, fold it up, put it somewhere. Don't even think about it. Don't even look at it again. And what you can do is, if you really want to, take a picture of it and then set an alarm on your phone to check that picture again. In a few months. Oh, she's gonna try it. You gonna slide? Do it. Do it. Yeah. Oh, what a good slide. That was great. Good job. There's a first slide. Good job, baby. So in 6 months, we have something interesting happening. Because the wheel of an astrological chart is linked across. Okay, what does that mean, Ellie? What it means is right now we have the new moon in Cancer, and across from Cancer is Capricorn. In 6 months, we're going to have a new moon in Capricorn, and we're going to have a full moon in Cancer. And so it's going to trigger all of that same stuff again. So we write our intentions right now. In 6 months, if we feel like it, we can check in on them, and we're going to see how well how well did our psyche implement that, even though we didn't consciously try? Because my goal here is not to add stuff to your to-do list. I mean, besides making this initial list, but I don't want you to have to be like, oh my gosh, I'm committing to a massive lifestyle shift immediately. No, we're just going to set these intentions and we can check in 6 months and see how we did. And actually, oh my gosh, now that I'm talking about it, 6 months from now is the next Pluto return, the third and final Pluto return. So what will that mean for us? I need to make a whole different video about that, but that is when we're going to check in on the intentions we set today. So if you haven't, I'm going to recommend that you look at my Pluto return videos. It's a big deal. You're okay. You're okay. Oh, she's trying to climb up the slide. It's a little harder. There you go, you tiny baby. And so we're going to set some intentions. Maybe think about the context of the Pluto return as we set them, and then check in 6 months, and that will be fun. Okay, so one thing that I do want to mention about this exact new moon is that we have the sun in Cancer, and the sun is exact the black moon right now, which is a mathematical calculation. It's not an asteroid or anything like that. The black moon is kind of like the dark feminine energy, okay? Symbolically, it represents feminine boundaries, and kind of like, I'll just say how I envision the black moon. I envision like a medicine woman with a staff and a big old falcon on her shoulder. And she stands there and she has kind of that energy of Gandalf from Lord of the Rings when he's like, you shall not pass. Like it's that energy, but in feminine form, okay? And so this energy, I feel like a big challenge with the black moon is tact, because the black moon can very often trigger people. I mean, the thing is, it's just going to say what it wants to say and do what it wants to do and set those boundaries no matter, and like let the chips fall where they may. And so sure enough, in my Facebook group, Intuitive Healing with Ali Duzette, I've noticed, more and more people, and in my emails as well, people establishing some very real boundaries, especially in marriage, which is really interesting because this exact new moon does have to do with motherhood. Okay, this is on the axis of motherhood and fatherhood, which is obviously linked to marriage, right? And so that is just a really interesting thing. A lot of people are feeling called to set some very real boundaries, and they're feeling it right now. So if you are feeling that call to set some boundaries, I'm going to say, yeah, that makes a lot of sense astrologically. Right now, for the entire planet, we have a lot of support for setting those strong boundaries. So if that needs to be an intention, like I will no longer tolerate X in my life, or from now on, I only tolerate Y in my life, I will say that that's something to, consider. I think that would probably be smart. So this is going to be a really interesting energy. Now, one note about new moons, because the moon and the sun are right next to each other during a new moon, what it can kind of do what it does in a natal chart is it makes it very hard for the native, the person who has the natal chart, to tell the difference between themselves and how do you put it? Their emotions and who they actually are. So basically, when you have the sun and the moon next to each other in a person, that was where it was when they took their first breath. If somebody's born right this minute, they're going to have this issue where if they feel bad, because the moon governs feelings, they're going to think they are bad. Okay. This is a big placement for what's called rejection sensitivity dysphoria. Which is when you feel super, super strongly primed to feel rejected, and rejection hits really hard. Whether or not you are rejected doesn't matter. Rejection sensitive dysphoria leaves you feeling like you're rejected even when you're not. And this can be a player in that. Hi, baby. Oh my goodness. Sorry, parenting. Hello, there you go, baby. This is baby number 5 for those that don't know, but all my big kids are playing outside, so I'm on baby duty. Hello. Okay, now if you were born on the full moon, say, so in Cancer, if you have a Cancer sun and a Capricorn moon, then you were born on the full moon. And full moon babies don't have this problem. They can actually seem detached from their emotions. They'll have a much easier time compartmentalizing their emotions because how they feel will be at the polar opposite of who they are. And I know that personally, I was a full moon baby. I am a full moon baby. And so for me, how I feel, I might have a terrible day, or people might call me names, or like, people say bad stuff about me. It really doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother my sense of self. My sense of self is 100% separate from what other people think about me. But this can make it so people are very sensitive to what other people are saying or feeling about them. It can make it so what you feel you are, you think you are as well. So that's something to keep an eye on during this new moon season. Like today, if you feel bad, just remember you're not actually bad. Whatever your feelings are, just remember your feelings are separate from your truth, and just hold on to that. Now, before we call it a night, I do want to quickly mention this square down to Jupiter in Aries at 7 degrees. Okay, so it's a perfect square to that sun and the black moon. To me, I mean, red lines like this are a sign of stress and tension. And Jupiter just magnifies everything. In Aries, it's going to magnify the potential for conflict. So what are we looking at here? Jupiter is going to be massively expanding the potential for conflict when it comes to setting boundaries, especially in the home, especially in parent-child relationships, especially involving feminine energy, because Cancer is like the quintessential mama, feminine, like divine mother sort of energy. So that is just something I want you to keep an eye on, because we all get a choice to choose out of the conflict, okay? Or rather, when we find ourselves embroiled in conflict, we get to choose how to handle it. If we're going to escalate it, if we're going to, shift out of it. And the word coming into my mind right now is called Wu Wei, which is a concept that I am crazy about. It's so great, Wu Wei. But it is the art of like not doing. And in martial arts, it's like when people try to punch you and you just like redirect their punch so that they can't hurt you. I just think it's such a fascinating thing, and I've really wanted to study it, but the only people that are available to teach it in real life in my area are not in my area. So I can't do it until we live a little closer to some experts of some kind. But it's very, very interesting. And I love the spiritual application of it. And I think a great example of that is with the video that I did with the Palmers back during the eclipse in November of 2021. And I had some people like calling me names on the internet and all of this kind of stuff, making all these accusations. And I urged my followers, maybe you remember that, not to engage, because it's fine. Like, guess what? It doesn't matter. It's fine. And the people that were doing that, they're good people. Like they honestly felt like they were doing the right thing to be maligning me on the internet, basically. But me telling people like, don't engage, like it doesn't matter. I forgive them. These people are good people. This was the equivalent of taking a punch and like moving it out of the way. And because of that, the kind of ringleaders involved actually issued me an apology and had me come on their YouTube channel. And it was very nice. And I really like those guys. And I always did, even when they were calling me names, and that's fine. But this is all to say that's an example of this kind of energy. Hi, baby. Hi. Coming into play, where it can be a conflict energy, a boundaried energy, or an energy that's calling out for boundaries that might be difficult to set. And so you take those difficult boundaries and those difficult situations, or those inflammatory situations that are blowing up with this Jupiter situation, and you can choose to channel them in a non-conflict way, right? A non-violent way. And so that is what I'm going to just bring into your awareness. If you get attacked, physically or, you know, emotionally or anything, or if you just assume you're attacked and you actually haven't been, I just want to invite you to consider the possibility that you may be able to neutralize the situation, coming from a space of nonviolence, a space of Wu Wei, where you're just gonna shift that negative energy to the side and step into your power through nonviolence, through peace, through being solid in your boundaries, because the only way that you're going to be able to shift things like that is if your soul is so concretely grounded in what is true and what is you. Okay, so tune into yourself. Be sure that you are in alignment. If you are in alignment, stand in that alignment as you shift out of these spaces of conflict. Okay, I hope you have the best new moon in Cancer you've ever had. Okay, we'll talk to you later. Bye.